When women speak.
And New Jersey Poetry Events presents
When People Speak, Poetry and Conversation with pop-up poetry guests.
Your hosts will be Amira, Shabazz, Bilal.
And your co-host, James C. Ellerby.
I am going to bring to the stage our next poet. She is a beautiful woman, person, let's put it that way, a beautiful person I'd like to bring to the stage. I'm going to read the bio for Allie. Allie Ali joined the New Jersey poetry community in early 2015 and has since qualified for two national performance poetry teams based out of Ocean County. The former Jersey City Shore Poetry Slam team all released their first chapbooks. I'm sorry, Ali released her first chapbook. Let me restate that. Ali released their first chapbook, I'm Poster Syndrome Me, in July 2017 and has a new chapbook in which will be released eventually. They've worked as a therapist with survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault since becoming a licensed counselor in 2019, and now works as a therapist for a small group practice and a community education coordinator for the same domestic violence and sexual assault crisis center. They enjoy finding new flavors of dairy free ice cream, talking about drag queens and queer history, and spending copious amounts of time in thrift shops looking for gems. Now, I, for one, have seen Allie's wardrobe, and I know for a fact that I challenge anybody to know where she purchased some of those gems from. But, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to bring to the platform, and I have Allie. Now, Ali, first of all, you're on When People Speak. I must apologize. I am one of those ignorant people who I'm not aware of how to address you. So that came out with me trying to purposely be perfect and not mess it up, which I know you love me. So if even if I did mess it up, you'd be okay with it. But I want to respect everybody's place, position. So I do want to offer that apology if I kind of jammed that up a little bit. So I am going to, Allie, allow you to go ahead and do your poetry. And then perhaps if you, when you come back, you want to tell us about some of these things that I've been trying to discuss badly. So I'm going to step off and allow you to have the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, Allie Longo.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I will get right into my first poem because I think it exactly addresses what Amira was just speaking to, what Amira was trying to communicate. So this is my poem, They, Them, Theirs. My pronouns are they, them, and I think you'll understand a little bit more of the feeling behind that expression by this poem. The group of teammates in high school who I felt were talking about me without me from afar. The confidential way of relaying information about the survivor clients. A group of spiders or ants or pigeons I shoo away at the park even though I know their intention is hunger and not harm. The ensemble cast members in the production that I refer to all as equally talented and supportive of the lead roles they should have had instead. A bag of clementines or a bunch of grapes or strawberries that I tilt in a circular motion up and down over my vision at the grocery store before I buy the whole thing and end up with mold. The 5 too many Ted Bundy and other serial killer documentaries that all say the same things and are equally as nauseating, but we cannot stop consuming the image of dead women. 20 empty plastic iced coffee cups that always adorn the floorboard of my car. I throw them haphazardly into the back seat when I actually have a friend to drive with me somewhere. The 5 long sleeve, tight black turtleneck shirts I own because I wear them so often to prove I'm an artist. All of the whiteheads and blackheads and cysts that adorn my body that the man swears he doesn't see and doesn't care about because at least I have a great figure. How the racist older white man refers to a group of fun-loving, joyful young Black boys playing basketball on the street on a summer day that he thinks is in his way when he tries to parallel park his car. How the Republican conservatives, far-right bigots refer to Asian people who are just trying to live and not be the face of a health pandemic and still not get hurt or killed, that all of this might not be a pandemic, but we made it that, but definitely is a pandemic. But wait, no, liberals, all of them are just really dramatic. The pronoun that everyone has to remind me is plural only in the dictionary, but I have to correct them that it is singular now in the dictionary, while also reminding them that they know how to use they and just did it correctly when talking about the term and not me. I am all of these birds and pimples and people and colors and shirts and coffee cups and women and movies and notes and fruits and artists and things that are more than just things, because they are there and I am here and always there too, because I am whole and multi and many and plural and complex and a lot and a couple and a few and always more than one, because we are all each other and all things, not God, just human, and humans, they are enough. So change my name to coffee cups, to grapes, to pigeons, to spiders, to serial killers, to victims, to survivors, to unnamed species, to acne, to shirts, to cups, to people, if that helps you, if it makes me more whole, if they make they real, but I am still they, and they are there, and are here, aren't going anywhere at all. So I'm just going to keep it short and sweet tonight. So I'm going to read a poem, one of the only poems I wrote right at the beginning of quarantine, because I definitely felt we were all feeling it, but I wasn't sure how to write at that point. So I'm glad this came out. I came up with a really cool icon. So whenever I publish my next chapbook, I really hope to include this. I called it an ode to Zoom. I really thought we would be out of Zoom land by now, but here we are. So, an ode to Zoom. I think I wrote this on day 13 of being stuck inside. 1. Your old school, early 2000s first Apple filter for photo booth makes my skin look flawless. 2. I can show up without showing up. I can show up from the neck up and let my hair run wild and free everywhere else. 3. My clients have so many plants and dogs I never would have known about if it wasn't for you. 4. Some conversations are easier because of you disconnecting, slowing down, or shutting off completely. Thank you. 5. You put us into boxes, but the ones we can accept for now. I am compartmentalizing in a healthy way. 6. I want to go slower even though your name suggests otherwise. 7. I always sing the Xenon theme song when I think of you. Are you protozoa? Wow. Score. 8. You're free. I can literally date people now for free because I have no choice. I mean, but you come first, of course. 9. You helped me watch a live jazz orchestra with dancers while I drank wine and cried all on my couch. Yes, for free. 10. Full screen or little screen, you're still holding the same space in my life. Too much. 11. Your clock has an image of some succulents. I like that shit. 12. Everyone requires an ID and password to talk to me. How do we keep that going when this thing is over? 13. It's day 13 of quarantine for me. This number has been my purest stroke of luck and my family's biggest demise. My great-grandmother was born on Valentine's Day because she said so. Because Jewish immigrants were allowed to, no, supposed to, make up all of the details of their identity to survive in America. I wonder if we would have had you in 2003 on Friday the 13th when she died. Would she have told me everything she could have about survival? Would she have screen shared all the Jewish prayers I cannot remember anymore? Maybe I'll set up a call with myself and hit record and write that poem next. 1. Thanks, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.
This time I did not fool myself and start speaking while I was on mute. I was very, very aware of the fact that I had muted myself. Oh, thank you, Allie. Thank you. The whole thing for me is the whole gender idea is new. I guess
Yeah.
there'll be more and more people that we'll have to meet and address. So I'm happy to have met you, and I'm happy to know that about you. Although you knew me and you didn't tell me, James told me. So I was like, well, why didn't
Yeah.
she say anything to
It's
me? She was with me a
interesting.
whole day.
It's interesting. I think I was just talking with a friend about this the other day that her and I have been through many poetry spaces together. Probably we started slamming and like really competing together, and we've been all up and down New Jersey, in PA, Philly, New York. Every single space is different of who's in the room, what poems you think you should recite or slam with or not, based on what you think will hit or not. And sometimes I think gender identity came in the way of that for me too. I've
Mhm.
sometimes felt like the content of that poem I wanted to share that night would only hit or score a certain way or make more sense if you saw me as a woman and you knew me as a woman and nothing more. Really, the poem's about trauma, specifically sexual assault, or dating. I'm me, I'm non binary. I use they, them pronouns. Not everyone that's non binary does, but I date men primarily, and that confuses some people. It's like, how can you be that, and like you're talking about men in your poems? So then that messes with your mind, and that's why that first chapter, imposter syndrome, I kind of like did the play on the words. I go through that with gender specifically all the time. Like, I have my body that I do, and that makes me adjacent to maybe people like you, Amir, and your body, or other people that are women in their bodies. I go through this a lot of the same things, but my brain doesn't identify with that anymore. It doesn't connect with that. Some people think trauma is connected to that. Some people don't. That's still always up for conversation and debate. So I really think it depends on who I'm talking to. I don't always come out to everyone at the same time, but everywhere publicly that you see my name, I will put my pronouns. It's not anything secret when it comes to,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
a
yeah.
title somewhere, a business card, an email signature. Like, it's there. It's
Mhm.
just, how do we engage with it, and how does it come across? Like, is it a one-on-one conversation? Is it not? And I think just offering that chance to everyone in your life, just never assuming people's identity at any given time, not just gender, but their sexual orientation, maybe where they're at in terms of their money and their socioeconomic status. You don't know how fast things can change in that department.
Sure, sure.
Religion. What if someone's trying out Buddhism for the first time and they're deciding to do something different with their diet because of that? You don't know that until you
Yeah.
talk.
Mm.
There's so many things we don't know that are going on with people, especially, like, I think today's a great example. Like you said, nobody woke up and thought James wouldn't be here in this room tonight, and here we are. And James had to say it to someone and had to tell
Mm.
someone, and we had to reach out and ask too. So I think that's what being a therapist has really taught me. I can assume all I want about what a client's going through, what we're going to talk about that night. They come in and it goes brr, and it goes left. Like, you just have to go with wherever it's going. And gender's the same way.
Well, the thing is, I'd hope, and I did in some respect, see a lot of what we're speaking about in your poetry.
Yeah.
And I want to see more of that to bring understanding, to bring proper understanding, so
Yeah.
that people will be aware, and if not anything else, educated. Doesn't mean that we have to agree or disagree. It just means that you're educated. And it's the same with me. I'm reluctant sometimes to do poems that are deep and deep into Islam, because I'm in a mixed audience or a diverse audience. But then I noticed that the people who claim the majority cast or the majority, they have no problem stating who and what they are at any time and taking over
Yeah.
your airwaves with whatever is important to them. So we have to move beyond that. So here's my question to you. What's on your
Yes.
nightstand? What's on your nightstand?
What's on my nightstand?
Hmm.
Do you actually want to know?
Keep it clean, sister. Keep it clean.
Okay, all right, all right. Always a book, and I usually don't ever read a book start to finish. I'm someone that's a chapter brain person. I like essays. I start and stop at all times. So I usually have the ambition, and there's a stack, right? I can see one in the corner there. I have a stack there. I have a stack there. There's always a stack upstairs. My lamp, one of my favorite lamps with a blue velvet shade and a Buddhist bottom part that has its arms out, so I can put things, like I can hold things on it. Usually, I have affirmation cards right now that I flip one every night. A pen and a journal, coconut oil for whatever I need it for.
I just need to know what things would be there, so when you wake up in the middle of the night and you have this feeling to write and write and write, what would you grab? What would be nearby? So I asked that question.
Yeah.
I want you to know we do have something in common, because I don't generally read a book cover to cover. I do read 50 books at one time, marking them up, going back, and saying, oh, that was in that book, that was in this book. So I do that as well. Allie,
Yeah.
I would like to genuinely thank you for gracing the stage of When People Speak. And I hope that you will not only come back to When People Speak, but also join us on the platform, the sister platform, When Women Speak. Ali, any parting words? What are you doing soon? Any information you want to share?
I just want to say thank you for inviting me here to this space, to When People Speak, and not immediately inviting me to When Women Speak. I think this made me feel more comfortable at first.
Really?
So I feel more open and ready to kind of go wherever. But I think to have this space, having that title alone can definitely lead to that inclusivity that you're looking for. You're going to get more people that have varying identities and things to bring to the table here with that title.
Oh, I get it. I get it.
That's so amazing.
Well,
so glad you're
When
doing
Women Speak, if I may, is very specific.
it. It is,
So
right.
it has that requirement. And one of our other guests, John, he'll tell you this one story that I always repeat. It has that one requirement that you have to be female. And in terms of how you're relating to yourself, I'm not sure. I'm just going to say that I'm not sure. But that was the requirement. The one and only time that I did invite guys, John was a part of that. And we had a very small audience. And it was just like, the message was clear. If it is not broke, do not fix it. It's for women and women only. And that's who will remain on When Women Speak. But again, Ali, thank you so much. And I hope to see you again. Bye-bye.
I hope the same. Bye.